Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. So I recorded a crypto video a couple hours ago, and I didn't hit record. And I recorded a 20-minute MJ video, and I didn't hit record. So this is how I feel inside right now. I was spitting fire. No one will ever hear the words I said. But I'm going to put on my chart face and do it all again. But I want you to know this is how I feel inside. Hello, MJ friends, looking at CGC, CRON, ACB, APHA, TLRY, TGOD, OGI, N, VFF, CVSI, NBEV, MPX, and IAN. Starting it off with CGC and CRON, these two names are extremely correlated in the last two trading days. We have an inside bar, so how we prepare for each trading day is we look at the charts the night before, or perhaps you wake up early in the morning, and you establish what do you think is the most likely scenario to play out. And you get a lot better at this the more experience you have and the more you see these scenarios play out time and time and time again. If you watch, 100 similar setups and you see how they play out 100 times, you're going to know what's the more likely scenario. So that's where time and experience is on your side. So we have daily inside bars. We know that means tightening ranges. And our anticipation for today was to look for an hourly lower high to form. So we started the morning bullish and we topped out, and the loss of the 5-minute uptrend was the indication that our hourly lower high had been set. Now we're going to pull back tomorrow morning, or we pulled back in the afternoon, and if we continue to pull back tomorrow morning, we're going to look for a higher low to form compared to 46.13. That, in my opinion, is the more likely scenario to happen. The market is a raging bull right now. Apple, bullish earnings reaction. Facebook, bullish earnings reaction. Fed, bullish reaction. SPY broke its resistance, bulls in full control. We're in a market environment where the burden of proof is on the bears to change the momentum, and they're not doing it. So the bulls are staying in control. This is the ideal market environment for any sector bulls to thrive. So let's look at some short-term trades. CGC, I traded it about 3 different times today. We started weak, and we hit the high of the day and then the low of the day, and then we saw a weak bounce attempt. This is not impressive at all. It's a potential 5-minute bear flag. Then you see the volume switch on, and you see the significant buying start to show up. So I was watching the bid and the ask at this point, and I was watching, I'm going to check if I'm recording 8 different times during this video, and I was watching the bid and the ask, and the ask had some decent shares on it, and they would pop up an order, maybe 5,000 shares, 8,000 shares, and they were getting bought pretty aggressively. So I'm seeing constant buying pressure on the ask as we head up to 48.10, and I can anticipate because of that volume that we're likely going to break to a new high of the day. I want in on that action. So we had a wall of resistance at $48. As soon as that broke, I hit market buy. I got filled at about 48.04. And then we ran up from there after the new high of the day. I flipped it after 40 cents to lock in my day maker. And from there was patient. We saw the 5-minute consolidation. It looked like a bull flag. I was looking for a re-entry on a break of 43. I was going to market buy as soon as, or a break of 48. I was going to market buy as soon as 48 broke. We held it by 2 pennies. So I missed my ideal entry, but I did still enter and then flipped it again for another 20 cents. And then we had another higher low. I flipped it at one more point, but ended up pretty much break even on that last flip attempt. And that tells me, you got your day maker, stop. So I did. So we had a double top at the high of the day, still maintained the 5-minute uptrend. So we got higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, double top, higher low, getting real tight with an equilibrium here. Another lower high at 49.32. There's your bear break. What's associated with the bear break? A spike in bear volume as we break those support levels and stops trigger. So then we started our pullback. That is our first indication, the break of 48.94, that the hourly lower high has been set. And we're expecting that. That's something we're looking for. So we now know to watch for the hourly equilibrium. Dump into the end of the day during power hour. And we're going to see tomorrow, does that higher low compared to 46.13 form? And we'll expect this hourly tightening pattern to break tomorrow afternoon. Doesn't necessarily have to. It could stay tight, but that's the most likely scenario in my opinion. The higher we form this higher low, the more it's going to favor the bulls. If we hold 47.67, that's bullish. If we break down and drop all the way under 47, that's going to start to favor the bears. So the amount of pullback on this higher low can help us shift the possibility what's more likely to happen, a bull break or a bear break. Cron, very similar. Daily inside bar shows us the tightening range. 5-minute time frame gave us our high and low of yesterday. Bulls held that support, and we set a lower high. The 5-minute trend changed. We started to pull back. There's a couple support levels mixed in, 1767, 1741, 1733. The most important is 1733. We're looking for an hourly higher low compared to 1733 and a tightening range to continue to form into tomorrow. Look at the correlation between Cron and CGC. So here's CGC in the background. Hourly time frame certainly look correlated. Let's zoom in. Look at the last 5 minutes, or I should say the last 2 days, 5-minute time frame. It might as well be the same stock. It is tick for tick correlated, very significant Cron and CGC. I'm pretty much just watching them all day and going to be watching these equilibriums to break. ACB, inside bar. This is the US ticker because it has more volume. High, low, low. Well, can't call that our lower high yet. Depends on how this inside bar breaks. If this inside bar breaks bearish and we break 901, then yes, that's our new daily lower high, and we then look for a higher low to form compared to 817. If, however, this inside bar breaks bullish and we get over 929, then we'll say our lower high has not formed yet, and we'll be watching that resistance up at 971 to see if the bulls can keep going up. I think the more likely scenario at this point is a bear break of the daily inside bar and a pullback to try and form a higher low in the mid $8 range. So we'll see tomorrow if the bulls are able to hold 901 and 897 supports from the last 2 days. Range is continuing to tighten up at this point on ACB. APHA got a bull break, so we knew a break of the daily range was more likely than not this week because of how tight it was. Didn't know which direction it was going to break. Bulls had favor because of the overall trend, the market strength, the sector strength, and we got that bull break. And we also never lost the hourly uptrend. So the key support was 950, then we held 957, and first thing this morning, we held 962. We held the hourly higher low by 5 cents. The bulls showed up, they broke that double top of resistance, and we consolidated towards the end of the day. Bulls would love to hold 992 tomorrow morning and have that be the hourly higher low. That would favor the bulls in terms of strength. If we do not hold 992, it's not game over for the bulls. We'll still look for an hourly higher low compared to 962, but again, it will shift the odds. The odds of continuation, if 992 is our hourly higher low, are a lot higher than if we break 992 and pull back down into the 980s or 970s. APHA was a little bit interesting to watch today just because it held up better than all other major MJ names to start the day. I had red on CGC and Cron and ACB and TLRY while they all pushed down first thing in the morning. APHA stayed green. So that stood out to me first thing. Bulls are positioned well on APHA if the sector bulls show up. Then it looked almost like a fake out because CGC and Cron hit new highs of the day. Everybody went back to green and APHA did not get its new high of the day. Then APHA did and surged past everybody else with a lot of strength to regain its top of the percentage gainers today. So I'm going to compare with CGC just for, haven't done this yet, but curious to see how this did play out. So here we had the high of the day at 970, or this is the Canadian ticker. So the high of the day was at 984. Here's CGC in the background. So CGC hit a new high of the day on this candlestick at 10 a.m. And we did not get a new high of the day on APHA here until 5 to 7. Well, it was actually about 15 minutes. We got a penny higher high, but 15 minutes after is when we got that clear bull move and then a huge move to catch up. And you can see the correlation is here as well, very correlated to everybody. But just in terms of how well it held up, that's an observation. I always talk about correlations, and that's what I do. I have my screen up with 20 different tickers. Let's look at it right now. That's my Fidelity screen that I look at. So over here, I'm just watching these US MJ. I'm watching, here's the 5 major MJ that I'm watching, and I'm making note. Who's green? How are people comparing to each other? Who is up the most out of these names? Who is the weakest? And just always watching how that action goes. And today was a little bit of a clue as to APHA having the biggest percentage gains because it did hold green while everybody else went red to start the day. TLRY, multiple daily inside bars, tightening range. So we're looking for a break. Let's look at the hourly equilibrium. We have our high, low, lower high. Bulls need a higher low compared to 75.45. So we're going to look for that to form tomorrow morning. If we hold 75.45 and bounce, we're going to look for a lower high compared to 81.08. And for this hourly equilibrium to continue to tighten. And it's very similar to CGC and CRON, but the difference is this consolidation is a bit more developed. It's a little bit of a step ahead in terms of comparing it to what those other two names have already done. But just looking for a break of the inside bars in the hourly range to give short-term direction. T-God continued to pull back and close at the low of the day. So here's another scenario where the size of the pullback from the high here, 432, we're already down 15+% from the high of that move. So the odds that we see daily continuation from here are a lot less likely than if we see than we are to see a lower high on a bounce. And that's because we haven't even established the higher low yet. So look at this healthy consolidation where we pull back from 319 down to, we pulled back about, let's see, about 13%, and then we saw continuation. And at this point, we have pulled back. Don't fail me now. So at this point, we pulled back already 17%, and we haven't even found a bottom yet because we closed at the low of the day. There's a gap to fill at 353. That's the first target to watch if we break 358 tomorrow. But again, it's a bigger pullback, so the odds of just straight up continuation are not as likely. We are going to form a daily high or low, extremely likely for that to be the case. The more we pull back, the less likely continuation, and the more likely a lower high and tightening range. Have to see an hourly trend change to form the daily high or low. And when looking at this hourly chart, a pattern stands out to me. We've seen 15 hours in a row of lower highs every single candlestick. So I'm going to watch for that pattern to break, and that's a potential pattern to act on when it breaks. It's a high risk, high reward signal because it's a very early one. It won't be a trend change if we break 364 and break the lower high every candlestick pattern, but it will be a shift in momentum, and that will be the potential first signal that our hourly high or low is in. But again, you're more likely to get a false signal because you're trying to act before the trend does clearly change. OGI, soft follow through today, but an upper wick of profit taking. So we look at the hourly chart, still maintaining the uptrend. If tomorrow morning, if we break 733 and consolidate further, we lose the hourly uptrend. And that tells us to look for daily consolidation, and we'll look for a higher low to form in the low $7, upper $6 range. So it's all about the hourly uptrend, which is 733. Resistance is 759, and after 759, we're looking up at 769 as the next resistance after that. And on the daily time frame, getting a little bit shaky. Still the daily uptrend. Anything above 131 holds it, but the bulls really want 137 to be this daily high or low. If we pull back any more than that, the uptrend is in jeopardy. Resistance is up at 159. So we'll see if the bulls can shift the hourly trend to give us our daily high or low. And right now we have an hourly equilibrium. Low, high, bulls are trying the high or low at 139. We'll see if they can break 147 and change this trend. But if we can't break 147, it's just a lower high and an hourly equilibrium to be watching. So daily consolidation, but it's a bit more of a pullback than the bulls would like at this point. Need to hold 137. VFF, healthy daily consolidation, a potential bull flag. Double top the last 2 days of 685, so getting the details. We see the low of the pullback, high of the bounce. We got a higher low here. Did break a support level by a couple pennies, but bulls bought that dip. So 649 and 638 are our support levels, and 685 is the double top. If we break 685, it's a clear hourly trend change. That gives us our daily high or low, and that increases the odds that it is a bull flag looking for continuation. If we cannot break 685 tomorrow, bulls want to hold 649, or further daily consolidation will be more likely. CVSI, beautiful bull break of 535 resistance, double top first thing this morning. We also broke 560. So at this point, the follow through from the weekly equilibrium bull break is great. Over 10% from the signal of 489. We broke the next level of 560, didn't close over it. That would have been ideal. But after 560, we're looking at 6 psychological and 654. Daily uptrend, anything above 484 keeps the daily higher lows intact. And the last hourly higher low, bulls are hoping it's 545, and they want to see a break of 565 first thing Monday, or first thing tomorrow. to try and get continuation of this hourly uptrend. NBEV, bull break of the daily inside bar, but a big upper wick of profit taking. At this point, this is more pullback than the bulls would like to see. Again, what does it tell us? It tells us we're more likely to form a lower high when we bounce as opposed to just seeing continuation. So we have our low, high of the bounce. Bulls are hoping 692 is our higher low. There's nothing convincing telling us that it is at this point. We need more follow through on a bounce. 720 and 745 are the first two resistance levels to be looking at. And if we break 692 tomorrow morning, it's a bit of a red flag that we are that we are due for potential daily consolidation. Keeping in mind that that's still the most likely scenario, a daily equilibrium. High, low, watching for the lower high, then we'll look for a higher low compared to 595 if we lose the hourly uptrend. MPX, solid day. We had a conference call today, the last day to buy your shares before the conversion. If you're holding MPX or MPXEF, it's probably going to be locked up for a week or so while those shares get exchanged for the new company and you get your dividends and all that fun stuff. But nice volume, strong day today, continuation. We broke 116, so the only resistance level left for MPX is 127. But MPX is soon to disappear as a ticker, so we're going to have to be watching IAN. IAN is a potential daily bull flag. To establish a daily high or low, as we know, we need to change the hourly trend. And at this point, this is healthy hourly consolidation. When you break supports and do not see follow through, 660 broke, we did not see follow through, the bulls bought the dip, then you zoom out and look for a flag. And yes, that is a potential daily bull flag at this point. Bulls want to see a break of 680 resistance tomorrow to give us our daily high or low and try and see some continuation. I'm done talking. I'm actually sick of charts right now. I appreciate you watching. Hope you do good things out there. We'll see you tomorrow.